Hi beautiful girls and women, my name's Marijana.
And I'm Linnea, and this video is going to be all about menstrual cycles and cyclic living, as we feel like this information has completely changed our lives like nothing else has before, and we feel like this information's not out there. Like, it's pretty hard to find out about these things, and we feel like every woman and girl deserves to know about these things, so that's why we're here to share this knowledge with you today.
We're so disconnected to the cyclic way of living, and it was so present in all the ancient traditions, but today we all we really know of our menstrual cycle is the bleeding, and it's kind of a curse, it's a shameful thing. But our whole actually cycle, we have low and high ebbs of energy, we have different hormones, and it's so good to know this, because this is literally a key to understanding you and why you're feeling these things. Yeah, and it's such a taboo too.
It's such a taboo topic. Like, I feel like there's a lot of shame around this topic. Girls are usually, when they have their period, they're very they don't want others to know about it. They just put a tampon in, and they're kind of hoping for the best, and just it's such a shame that such a beautiful natural thing is seen as something like such a burden in our society, because it shouldn't be like that. It's such a beautiful thing.
It is, and every time like I have my period or someone else, they're like, oh, poor you know, like they make it seem as such a awful thing, but it is a beautiful thing. And the most amazing thing, it is, you can connect it to the moon too. So our menstrual cycle is on average 29.5 days, and that's the same as the lunar cycle. And scientifically they've said that the light of the full moon can make a hormone in women that they will ovulate, and which would mean that you ovulate on the full moon, so then on the new moon you have your period. But of course this is all, we're all on different cycles these days. Back in the day when people were living in nature and in the full moon light, every woman was in this cycle. But of course we all, you know, there's artificial lights, there's this, so every cycle's different. It's all beautiful, but we're going to be using the moon kind of symbols to talk about the phases.
So there are 4 phases of our cycle. There is the most well-known cycle, menstruation, which is the first phase. So it starts in the day 1, and this is when we bleed. It's called the new moon cycle as well, because that's when then you can't even see the moon, you go inwards. It kind of symbolizes you. And then the second phase is waxing moon. So this phase is when your energy levels start to grow. Hello. Your energy levels start to grow. You want to hear about this too, don't you? Okay, so your energy levels start to grow, and then you're in your most go-getter mode. The moon's growing as well. And then the third phase is the ovulation phase. So this is the full moon phase. So you're ovulating, you feel like you want to nurture people, you want to nurture plants. It's very beautiful energy. And then the fourth phase is the waning moon phase. So this is when your energy levels start growing down again. The moon starts getting smaller again, and you start to go more inwards and prepare for the menstruation.
Phase 1, menstruation phase, this is also called the dark moon phase, because there's no moon, and it's a time where we go inwards. Scientifically our hormones all go down, we start to bleed, our uterus is working very hard, so we have a very low ebb of energy. And if in this kind of phase these days we really kind of shame it, we ignore it, we don't talk about it, we literally stick a tampon in and just hope no one notices. But it's actually a very beautiful phase too. It's a phase where we can reflect, it's a phase where we can really rest. Like, it can be your monthly little cozy retreat you can take for yourself, because we should be resting, and these days we can only rest if we have a reason. So if we have period cramps or this, like, people are like, oh, then you can rest. But if you're just on your period, like our whole childhood and when I was growing up, I never had felt like I had an excuse to actually rest on my period because I didn't have any bad period symptoms. But it is so necessary to take this time for you, and you really actually, when you tune in, you notice how much work is going down there and how much you should actually be taking care of yourself. So how can we support our menstruation phase for our body and our health? So the best thing is to really take this time as a retreat. Meditate, sleep more. We actually do need way more sleep in this phase. We need more rest, more kind of calming exercises. So no, like if you have crazy exercise regimes, maybe don't do them these few days, because it's actually really harming to our uterus and our body. So really just retreat. Like, for example, I'm on my period now and I'm really trying to just not do anything, read a book, make herbal tea, and try and, like, I talk to the people around me, so my friends and my boyfriend, and I ask them to kind of take care of me in this period, because it's actually really just for our whole like uterus and whole womb. It's really important, and it can actually do a lot of damage if we don't rest it. And for example, all the ancient kind of traditions, Vedic traditions, or the Native Americans, like the Native Americans had a red tent, and all the women would menstruate at the same time every month, and they would be alleviated of all the duties in the camp, and they would be put into this red tent where they could just rest together, be creative together, reflect. And that's a beautiful thing too. It's also called the reflection phase, because as your body sheds, you can also shed emotionally. So you can really reflect on the past month, what things were going on, what things you want to let go of. It's the perfect phase to let go of stuff. So if you have anything, any emotion, even if it's a person just had a bad breakup, in this phase, just imagine really letting go of those things.
The next phase is waxing moon phase. So this is when you start getting more energy again. This is when your hormone levels start growing again. This is you're basically recovering from the menstruation phase, and this is also when the moon starts growing again. So you start feeling more energized. You should still, for the first couple of days, take it very easy, let your body and your mind heal and recover. And then after that, this is the phase when you can go for it. Literally, if you have any projects, anything that you need to tackle, just do it, go for it, because this is the most dynamic of your phases, and it's the most masculine, it's the most yang, and it's that phase where you're that go-getter. Like, you really just want to get stuff done, like, just, yeah, it's amazing because you have so much energy. But you still should be careful not to burn yourself out, because sometimes we feel like, oh, like I can do anything, and then you just do too much, and then suddenly you're really exhausted. So yeah, still be careful. But even with your yoga practice, this is the phase you get when you can just, go and tackle those more challenging yoga postures and yoga sequences and all that sort of stuff. This is when you're really that go-getter.
So now we come into our third phase, and this is our full moon ovulation phase. So this phase is when your egg gets released, and it's when you ovulate. So this is when the moon is big and round, and this is how you are. You're out there, you're bright, you want to be really outwards, and you're really outwards focused. You're not introverted anymore. And it kind of moves from the waxing moon phase in the go-getter, kind of business orientated or job orientated, to more a nurturing, motherly orientation. So it's all to do with taking care of people, really kindling those relationships again. Maybe this is the best time for you to go see that friend or go on dates or really get out there, look after your family, look after your boyfriend. Yeah, it's a beautiful phase.
No,
like it's really, it's where your heart is kind of open the most, and it's where you feel the most feminine. So you feel very sexy, you feel beautiful, and yeah, your sex drive will be high in this phase too, and you will be very fertile. So you should be careful too. You don't want to get pregnant, but if you do want to get pregnant, this is the time. And with the yoga practice, this is perfect for a lot of heart openings, and it can be energetic, but you have to be careful because in this phase your hormones surge, estrogen surges really high and then suddenly really low, which makes your lower back and sacrum really kind of fragile. So you still have to be careful with overstretching, because this is actually the second biggest phase where women hurt themselves in their lower back. So after the menstruation, this is the second phase where it's very fragile.
So the fourth and the last phase is the waning moon phase, and this phase is when your energy levels start going down and your hormone levels start going down as well. This is the phase that prepares you for the menstruation. So it starts after ovulation phase and leads up until the menstruation phase. And this phase is known as the most annoying phase by our society, because it usually includes PMS, so premenstrual symptoms, which can range from headaches to moodiness and cramps and anything in between. So yeah, a lot of women as well find it really annoying. They can be angry at their body and their mind and everything. They might find a lot of stuff frustrating and irritating, but the beauty is that if you really know that, okay, I'm now in my waning moon phase, then you can actually just get some perspective and be like, okay, I'm gonna be a bit more irritated around this time, and you can kind of already prepare yourself like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna just breathe through and just realize that it's my hormones, it's not me. Actually, I don't need to act upon this thing, and it's probably a good idea to just spend time with those people that don't irritate you and all that stuff. And yeah, this is the phase also when the moon gets smaller, so it's, you know, going towards the new moon, and this is when we go inwards, and this is when we start the reflection process again. And this phase is just, it's beautiful when you learn to honor your whole cycle. Then this phase as well is going to be beautiful. We've learned to really find beauty in this.
And it's funny because you can literally tell how you're gonna be. I know that I'm gonna be irritated on those days,
and it's awesome.
And then you're just, oh, whatever, like it's just my hormones, it's not actually the people. But you know, it's never the people, but sometimes it is. But you actually, oh, it's my hormones, I'm gonna be like this. So I, for example, make sure that I spend more time by myself at this time. So I really make sure that I'm not always surrounded by people, because I know it's gonna make me more agitated.
Exactly. And when you go more inwards, when your energy levels start going down, that's usually when you kind of leave more that logical problem solving stuff behind and your intuition heightens. Yeah, so there is a lot of like, it's a little bit easier to tap into your intuition and your creativity and create from there. And also with your yoga practice, like it's good to start slowing down, do more like yoga nidra, a lot of meditation, like really just honoring your body and your mind and your mood, and just be gentle and compassionate towards yourself.
And this is a really big thing, especially for me. I run a yoga retreat and I'm a yoga teacher, and I've realized that yoga is literally has been made for men by men, and it really doesn't take in our women's needs. It doesn't take in our cyclic living, and it's so important for you girls to change your yoga practice during the month because it can be really damaging. Like, I've seen a lot of girls really damaged and not being able to get pregnant, all these things, because they have such a manly yoga practice and they think it needs to be strong and needs to be dynamic the whole month. But we're not like that. Women, we live in this cycle. We don't live this linear, dynamic way, and we need to honor this, and we need to honor our body.
This knowledge has completely changed our lives. Like we told you, like we've done a lot of yoga, we've done a lot of meditation, we've done journaling, everything, but this is it. Like this is how we have found the connection with our bodies and nature and the moon. Like it's beautiful, the connection and the cycle, because nature is cycle, we are cycles, you know, like whole life is all about cycles, and this really can connect you with the cycles. And like we really use this knowledge when we plan our month. Like, you know, when we menstruate, we want to make sure that we don't have too much to do, but then, for example, our waxing moon phase, we're gonna, you know, do more of that stuff than usually.
So like in my waxing moon phase, I'm very lucky because I can kind of plan my day because I'm self-employed my whole month. So I try and put big projects if I can on the waxing moon period. So when I have so much energy, I'm thinking way clearer, and I work maybe 10 hours to 12 hours on those days, just really pumping out the project. But then on like now when I'm menstruating, I'm really trying to not do much. I'm trying not to use technology. I'm trying to rest and read, and it's actually beautiful when you start telling the people around you because they understand you so much more. And our bond has just really been so good because we're on opposite cycles. So I menstruate on the new moon and she menstruates on the full moon. So I'm kind of menstruating, she's looking after me now, and she's in her actually nurturing phase, so ovulation phase, so it's perfect. So she's, you know, cooking for me, doing, you know, really helping me with work stuff too. And then she's kind of out there and she's actually going on a date tonight. So she's really, you know, in that go-getter.
So it's really beautiful how like I can take care of Marijana when she's bleeding, and when I'm bleeding she can take care of me. Like, we really recommend telling your friends about your cycles because it's really, you know, it really helps you to get closer. It's such a bond between you two. Like, I'm in my ovulation phase, so I love nurturing her, and you know, like it's the other way around when I'm bleeding. So it's a really beautiful thing, and you'd be surprised about how many people understand, even, you know, your boyfriend. Like, it's just such a natural, beautiful thing that we can grow life with, you know, inside of us, and we should be proud of it.
And nurturing it.
Exactly.
And thank you so much for listening to us, and if you have any questions about it, please just message us. We know we've already gotten a few questions, and I hope we answer those questions. And yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful day.
Enjoy.